Have you ever had a late night wake-up call? Hi, I'm Pastor Nick, and this is The Bottom Line. This is The Bottom Line, recorded on December 11th, 2016. If you've ever been disturbed while you're sleeping, it's not very fun, especially when it's late night. If you've got little kids, perhaps they come in and come into your room and they're waking you up and they're kind of pestering you until they get something. My daughter, she comes in and she says all kinds of things. Daddy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm thirsty. And she goes on, and I'm like, you're not hungry. You're not thirsty. And then the less than perfect version of myself comes out and, no, leave me alone. I'm trying to go to sleep. But eventually she wins out because she is persistent. So I'll go downstairs, I'll get her a drink of water or give her some cereal or something. Today what we're talking about is persistence. Jesus illustrates this story in Luke 11, starting in verse 5. Here's what happens. There's a man who comes knocking on his door. And as he's knocking on the door, he's banging on it really hard. And the neighbor kind of grumpily comes down and like, hey, what are you doing? And the guy's like, hey. He's like, what? I'm tired, I'm sleeping. He asks him, hey, I've had a visitor come to my house. They just got here and I wasn't able to get to the store and I don't have any food to give them. Can I have 3 loaves of bread? Now, most of us are probably like, no, I'm sleeping. Go back to your house. That's your problem. Figure it out. But what Jesus says in the story is, he says, for his friendship, he wouldn't do this. But just to get the guy to leave him alone, he's going to do it. So he gives him the bread, and his friend's able to go on and help his visitor. In our life, in our prayer life, we need to approach God with persistence. For a lot of us, we kind of do a drive-by prayer, where we kind of go and, oh, hey God, this is this, and then we don't talk to God again for a month, 2 months, or whatever. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We need to be persistent. We need to consistently go to the throne room of God. Now here's what I don't want you to think. I don't want you to think that we can wear God down. That's not how it works. You see, when we are persistent in our prayers, something amazing happens. It changes us. The more we pray, the more time we spend in God's presence, it begins to transform us. It begins to align our desires and our wants to what God really wants. And our prayers probably even change. The next part of being persistent in prayer is when you're persistent in prayer, a sincerity develops. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is your motive begins to change. It's not about being selfish. It's about aligning your will, your desires to God's desires. It's not about, hey God, I need $50,000 because I want to buy a BMW. It's God, I need some transportation, and if you could help me with that, that'd be great. It's not about being selfish. It's about aligning to what God has. The next thing is being persistent in our confidence, okay? So what does that look like? That means believing that it's going to happen. For some of us, the fact is that we just give up too easily. We go to prayer, and maybe it's that drive-by prayer, it's a one-time prayer, and they're like, no, it's not going to happen. God can't heal me. God can't help my marriage. God can't provide for me a new job or financially. You see, what we need to do is we need to approach with a confidence. And as you begin to pray more, this confidence develops in you. And then you start walking around and be like, I know God's going to heal me. I know God's going to provide for my family. I know that God's going to help my neighbor who's going through this issue and they have a health issue. We start to walk with confidence. You see, we all need to be persistent in prayer. And as we're persistent in prayer, we begin to change. We begin to transform. And our hearts line up with God's. I'm Nick Smith. God bless you.